What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Sam's Report. It is Friday, and I hope you guys had a wonderful week. And if this is your first time watching the podcast or the show or whatever you want to call this thing that I do every Friday morning, welcome. My Surface Go video that I tossed up earlier this week, as I got hands on it within New York, is I think the most popular video I've ever done. It's closing in on 200,000 hits, a bunch of new subscribers, and welcome to the family. And what I do every Friday is I've been covering Microsoft for 10 years, closer to 15 years actually, and I had a lot of people inside of the company that talk to me, and I pass along what they're telling me, what I'm hearing, insiders are talking about, and if this is your first show, I'm going to tell you that this is going to be a good one to jump in on. And we'll get to the good meaty stuff here in just a second. But one of the things that Microsoft did do this week is that they made Teams now free. And so Microsoft Teams, previously you had to be paying for it. It's a Microsoft Slack competitor. I've been talking about it since February that they would come out with a free iteration, and now it is here. And it's actually surprisingly robust. It can support up to 300 people. It's relatively full-featured. It is missing some security components. If you're like in a HIPAA environment or anything like that, you definitely don't want to be using the free version of Teams. But for Microsoft, this is a good way for them to say, hey, look, when we're competing against Slack, we have a pricing tier at every single level, and it's just it's Microsoft's robust offering to make Teams the pivotal center of your collaboration and work environment. Basically, what I've heard time and time again is Microsoft wants you to have email open and Teams, and then that's it. And everything else just kind of works and evolves inside of those two platforms. And so that is out there. You can go check it out now. You can download Teams for free. You can use, I think, an MSA account. You don't even need, well, you definitely don't need an Office 365 account because that means you're paying. Microsoft also is including this whiteboard app and a bunch of other stuff. So here we go. Here is what is the topic du jour. So Andromeda is obviously the device that has been it's been up and down in the news lately. It's alive, it's dead, it's coming, it's not coming. And so I've been able to dig in, and I feel very confident what I'm about to say here. Andromeda is not dead, but it's not coming anytime soon. Mary Jo wrote up, I think last week, a very accurate story, which I'm able to confirm, that the bits that were going to initially be in Redstone 5 are not going to make it, and they're holding them off. And I was able to actually get a little bit more info about this. Microsoft has looked at the Andromeda project and done a complete kind of overhaul and review of it. And what they're doing is they're just not shipping it yet. And now you might be saying, Brad, that's the same thing as dead. Well, no, not quite. Actually, they're sending it back to the drawing board a bit here. And what I've heard from multiple sources inside the company, they are saying that Microsoft is going to rework Andromeda in its current form, and they are going to significantly update the operating system that was going to ship with the device. Microsoft got to a point where they were essentially in a go or no-go decision, and they decided, hey, this device is not ready to be shipped yet. It's not good enough. It's not the right time. And so they are putting the pause button on it. It is not canceled. It is not dead, but it is definitely being significantly reworked and will not show up until at the earliest late 2019, or at least that's the target. I mean, in theory, they could ship it any time in 2019, but my sources are saying 2019 at the absolute earliest. But based on what the information they're sending over, I think that might even be a little bit generous. And keep in mind, this thing may never ship at all, but in its current form, it is not going to ship. They are going to update the product and try to get it more ready. Now, I have a couple theories about this. If it truly is ARM, which I fully believe it was, or is, this actually makes complete sense, because if they would have shipped it this year, it would have shipped with a Snapdragon 835, which we all know is a little bit older in the tooth, because there's things like the 845, which is not coming to the PC world, but there's also this rumored kind of Snapdragon 1000 PC chip that is been benchmarked and all that. And if Microsoft pushes Andromeda out now, it's got to use an 835. It can't use the Snapdragon 1000. Or whatever that rumored chip is going to be called. And so if they delay it a year, it can then use that more powerful and more customized chip for the device. And so Andromeda fans, don't lose any sleep over this, and know that your beloved potential mobile device might still be coming. I can't officially say it's coming in 2019, but that is the absolute earliest that it would show up. I believe if it shows up, it's going to be about a year from now. But even then, that still may not occur. Microsoft is not going to ship this thing until they are damn well ready to do it, and they know that it's actually going to move the needle. Because If you do, I'm going to do some off the top math here. There was a petition out there for Andromeda saying, hey, please ship this thing. And 15,000 people signed it. Let's do a generous that Microsoft sells this thing for $1,000 and they have a 20% margin. If all 15,000 people bought that thing, they won't, and Microsoft made 20% on hardware, which I don't think they do, Microsoft would make about $2.5-ish million, just roughly. Guys, Microsoft makes about $4 to $6 billion in net income every quarter. $2 million may not even be material to their financial statements, meaning that there's absolutely no reason to take that risk to try to make $2 million in profit. So, that being said, guys, Andromeda, on the third rumor, it rose again. It was never truly dead. It's just back to the drawing board, back to being reworked, back to being overhauled to make it better and make it actually a product that's going to sell in some sort of volume, and 15,000 units is not anywhere near worth shipping. So, I'm going to have a write-up about that later today, possibly about the time this podcast goes live, but we will see. And that's what's going on in Andromeda, and I feel extremely confident about that information based on where it has come from. And so a couple of other quick anecdotal notes here. The Surface Go came out this week. If you haven't checked it out, like I said at the top of the video, go check out the video. The hands-on is doing wonderful. I did a question and answer session. I'm still getting a lot of questions. I might do another one if it feels necessary. If you have any other questions, just let me know. But there are a couple dongles out there because it ships with USB Type-C, and so Microsoft made a USB Type-A dongles available, which I think is a smart move. I'm surprised they didn't talk about this more, but maybe dongle life isn't something that Microsoft really wants to be associated with. Other things that have popped up, Skype is finally getting read receipts. If that's what's been keeping you off the platform, there you go. You can now use read receipts. I don't think that's the thing that's missing from Skype. I think stability and is the thing that Microsoft is needing to add at this time. And speaking of hardware, because it's been a hardware-heavy, quick update here, Apple shipped new MacBook Pros here. And so these are good machines. You know, I'm not a big fan of the Touch Bar, but you may be. And, you know, to each their own. I'm happy if you are. But they come with options up to 6-core, 32 gigs of RAM, 4 terabytes of SSD, and nearly $7,000 price tag. That's all great. You know, if you're in the Apple ecosystem, I'm happy for you. Go out and buy that machine and make your heart happy. Here's the only thing that matters about the MacBook Pro. Microsoft is now the cross shop. If you look at, I think, just about every single article that announces these things, it says, hey, let's compare it to the Surface Book 2. That's where the conversation ends, guys. Microsoft has now fully elevated the Surface brand to be the cross shop of the Mac line. That's all that matters. That's what Microsoft wanted to do. That is what they've done. The Surface line is now on the same level as a MacBook Pro, which is considered to be one of the best laptop lines of all time, and Microsoft is now competing head-to-head with that in the press and everything else. That's all that matters about this release or announcement, and Microsoft has done a wonderful job building out the Surface brand, and that's all there is to say. That's all there is to say. Microsoft Inspire is next week. I am not there. Press were not invited, despite all the people sending me emails asking for invites or for meeting requests. We are not there because Microsoft didn't let us. But there are going to be keynotes on, I think, Monday and maybe Tuesday. But the majority of the news is out. That's part of the Teams announcement of up to 300 people. There's also some new Azure WAN and firewall features that have been announced. The Teams stuff, obviously. This is all part of the Inspire announcements that they're going to talk about next week. And so I'm not expecting any major bombshells or new hardware. There's definitely not new any hardware. This is their partner show. This is where they try to rile up their sales, their third-party salespeople and say, hey, look, we help you guys make money. Help us make money. And so that is what's going on. It's taking place in Las Vegas. And if any of you guys are at the show, have fun and enjoy. Tech Ready is also taking place that week. And that's kind of what's been going on in the world of Microsoft. There's some new Xbox stuff. Massive update for this guy back here. Well, I should say massive update for PUBG. I'm a huge PUBG gamer. If any of you guys do that, definitely add me. I'm BD Sams. I'm always looking for people to play with. And big update on the play test server. And I think it's good. Miramar's a little screwed up with the lighting, but they can fix that. And so, guys, this has been a super quick wrap up. But hopefully that Andromeda makes your heart rest a little bit easier, knowing that it's gone for now, but not lost forever. And so with that, guys, have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you right back here next time on the Sam's Report.